And a couple of things on that note. So, video, globalization at risk and stuff. I also think that we probably, rightly so, but early enough defined globalization a little differently than what it is turning out to be, right? The first thing that you mentioned, with videos and with people and the access to the internet and connectivity across, there's a new meaning for globalization that's coming together, right? How do you collaborate at scale across different time zones and stuff? What probably changed was you don't need the powers to be actually to dictate the rules of doing that. I mean, that was the original definition of globalization, right? It was state control and stuff like that. So I think there is something there where it's at risk, but it's getting transformed as we do it. Now, I'm not going to cross over to the crypto territory right now yet, but there are some interesting parallels here where there's the old and the new ways that are having a tussle in the market, if
Yeah,
you will.
yeah. And I think it'll happen. I mean, even though crypto is going through its own winter, but I feel like the underlying blockchain and what you can do with the blockchain in a decentralized way, even for B2B companies, is up for grabs. Just like the internet of 2000, we thought that this was just a froth, and it wasn't to be. There were companies that persisted and they did well, and they became the e-commerce giants that we all go and transact with on a daily basis. And there were those that scoffed at the internet bubble burst, and I think Web3 is going through that. At the same time, I think there's a lot of incontrovertible things about Web3 that are worth really leveraging. And as a company, we're also learning and doing quite a bit. I mean, one of the things we did recently was we were getting um, so many friends and family to say, "Can I invest in DevRev?" And like, we can't take small checks. There's a cost of a lawyer and all this other stuff that adds up. And then in the last 6 months, said, you know what? Let's just go and make this a little bit more digital, where we don't have to have face-to-face meetings and lawyer fees and all sorts of signatures and paperwork and stuff like that. So we put that as a token on the blockchain. We're doing it in Ethereum, and we said we can now take $50,000 checks. So the whole thing is digital. It's only accredited investors. So there is a way of actually atomizing your relationship with some of these friends and family investors who want to come in early if that's what it takes. Which would not have been possible in the old world. And I think that's just the tip of the spear in some sense. What you can do with PLG. We'll talk about product-led growth as well. But the
Mhm.
idea that your user is your micro seller because of how big an advocate and champion they are. So how do you reward them? You probably need to reward them for the proof of work, and that work is really how they're spending time in your product and helping the community and answering questions and things of that nature. That can be codified through tokens as well. So there's something here which will probably also change the face of B2B in the coming 3 to 5 years, which people are beginning to laugh at and say, well, crypto is just untouchable. But I think the folks who are really going to touch it are the ones who will actually create some differentiation.